Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a list of some unanticipated releases. That is not how that word's supposed to be used. On BookTube, some of my favorite videos to watch, some of my favorite videos to make are anticipated releases. So this is an unanticipated releases, which means these are some books that I personally am not necessarily really excited about, or for whatever reason I'm actually wanting to avoid certain books because I'm wanting to read something else by the author first. I know that when these books come out, I'm not going to be giving them much time or attention, but that doesn't mean I think they're not worth your time and attention, or at the very least, I think that despite me not being interested, it doesn't mean that you won't be interested. Before we jump into it, just a little quick life update. My dad is back from the hospital. He's officially home now. I am still staying at his house to just help out. So that would be why things still look different. Jumping into it though, the first book on this list would be To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Christopher Paolini is known for The Inheritance Cycle, the first book being Aragon. I know a lot of people read that when they were growing up. It's maybe filled with a lot of nostalgia for you. With him, it's been a while with him writing something in a different genre and different age range. I'm thinking it's probably going to be really cool. I actually never finished The Inheritance Cycle. One of you was nice enough to send it to me, and I would really like to finish reading that series of his before jumping into the new series. Next on this list would be the new book by V.E. Schwab. It is a story that follows a girl who made a deal, and that deal grants her immortality, but it also means that anybody who ever meets her will then forget her. One day she meets somebody who remembers her name, and then everything takes a turn after that. I think it sounds so cool, and I'm definitely going to be looking to see what other people say about it. I like V.E. Schwab. I like her books. She seems like a cool lady. I've actually seen her at a book signing before, and I just think she's kind of awesome. I'm definitely really excited for her to have this new book come out, but I have read quite a few things by her. Vicious, Vengeful, The Shades of Magic, Our Dark Duet, The Savage Song. I've read a lot by her, but there's still other things by her that I'm wanting to check out. Specifically, she has a middle grade series called City of Ghosts. I want to check that out first, try to get through most of what V.E. Schwab has already written before getting into this new one. The next book on this list does not follow the same pattern as the previous two. I just don't care to read this book, and that would be The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. This is the third book in the Poppy War series. The first book I read a little while ago. It follows a girl who she has dreams of a better life for herself. Her life is pretty terrible, and when she has the opportunity to pursue these dreams, it leads her down a path that eventually goes to war. It's heavily based in real events in history, and the magic system is very different than the magic in most fantasy stories. I enjoyed parts of the Poppy War, but the biggest thing for me is that I just found myself getting so frustrated with the main character, Rin, and if you guys know anything about my reading taste, you know that when I don't like a character, it's really hard for me to like the book. If it's multiple point of view and I like some of the characters, then it's different. But if I don't like a character, and it's not one of those like, you're not supposed to like them sort of things, because there are characters that I don't like, but I like to read about. It wasn't really that for me. I just didn't like this character. I was constantly really frustrated with her, and she would start to grow on me, and then she would go back. And I just found myself constantly starting to be pulled in and really liking it, and then having something happen that I didn't love. So for that reason, I didn't pick up the sequel, The Dragon Republic, and I'm not really interested in picking up the third, but I am planning to continue following this author in the future because I know she's already starting to work on a fourth book that is separate from this series, and I will definitely, unless it sounds really unappealing to me, I will almost surely pick that one up. Next up, we have The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, and this is an author who I picked up one of her books. I got about 25-30 pages in, and I was like, eh. And that would be a series that she is really loved for, and I plan on giving another try. But she also has another trilogy besides that one that I also would like to look at. So similar to the V.E. Schwab one and the Christopher Paolini, I kind of want to read some of her earlier works first, so that way I can really figure out if this author, if maybe that initial 25 or so pages, if my instincts were right and this author, maybe her style could possibly just not be my thing, or I could have just been in not the right mood. Sometimes that happens, and maybe I'll end up loving it when I try to get back into her works. But at the very least, I think I should check those out first before going out and buying her newest book. It does sound very interesting. Every city has a soul, and New York City has 5. And that's all I really know. Sounds interesting, sounds very different, but still want to check out her other stuff first. Next up, we have Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is just something else set in the Hunger Games world. I never really checked out Hunger Games. I've never been that interested in it. I don't think I need to tell you guys what it's about. Pretty sure a lot of you already know. I have a vivid memory, though, I will say, of being in high school math class. And my high school math class, this teacher I had was basically like the real life version of the lady from the Magic School Bus. And she was always chewing gum really loud, and she was always passionately talking about how much she loved the Hunger Games. I saw the first movie. I've been spoiled for everything that happens in that series. I know a lot of people don't love the conclusion, and I don't know. I feel like that kind of story, that arena type story, dystopian, those sorts of books don't always appeal to me anyway, so I think I'm just not really that interested in the Hunger Games, so as a result, I don't really care about this one. Next up, we have the next installment in the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss, and I read Name of the Wind. I do often mention Name of the Wind, and I recommend it to people, even though this third one, everybody's like, oh, I don't think it's even gonna come out. It's never gonna come out. A lot of people are really pretty intense when it comes to their feelings toward Patrick Rothfuss and the fact that he's taken a while to get this third one out. But either way, I didn't love Name of the Wind. It's obviously purely subjective. I think Name of the Wind is an incredibly well-written story. Follows a boy, it follows a man telling you his life story. And the first one, he's in boyhood up through his young adult years. I just didn't really care for it. But I do know that a lot of people absolutely adore this story. It means a lot to a lot of people. And you know what? If that third one is for sure coming out, then I'm excited for all of you who are excited. Similar thing to this next one, which would be the next installment in the Lies of Locke, Lamora series. I read the first one and I just didn't care for it. I thought I was gonna love this story. We follow a band of thieves who, the reason that they steal is that they're essentially serving the god of thievery, and so they don't really do it to get rich. They don't really do it to give to the poor. They just do it because it's like their calling, which I think is a fantastic setup. It definitely makes the lines a little blurred when it comes to morality, and they had a tone that was kind of entertaining, but I just didn't really care for the characters, and the tone itself, while entertaining, I also felt like sort of for me clashed with the intense violence that you would sometimes get. And I don't mind violence in books, I don't mind language in books, but there was just something about the way that it was aligned with the humor in the story that just wasn't my thing. But so many people love this, so many people absolutely adore the friendship between a lot of the characters. They love the twists and turns and the mischievous nature of the characters. So I definitely would say if it sounds up your alley to check it out, you will probably love it. And a lot of people who love the series are really excited and eagerly awaiting this next one. Last on this list would be Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. And this particular story is one that follows a group of people who helped save the world. They succeeded in saving the world, but now they don't know what to do with their lives. And I think that sounds amazing. I think that's a great premise. I believe this is the first book by this author to be sold in the adult fantasy section. So I'm actually really excited about this. I can't wait to see what other people have to say. But just like some of the other books on this list, similar, I would say, the most to the N.K. Jemisin one, I really don't know if this author's works are going to be for me. I actually do own one of their books. I would like to check that one out before I jump into something brand new. That's it for some books that I'm not necessarily anticipating, but hopefully in hearing about some of these, it's now added something to your list of books to be excited about. Let me know what your anticipated releases are, and if there are any that are really anticipated releases for a lot of other people, but you just don't really care that much, let me know that too. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.